Okay, I see 11 motivated individuals. Thank you very much for joining me, for accepting my invitation, joining this group, and taking time to participate in this call. I hope that all of us will be somehow useful to each other, both my free services that I provide as part of this group and your encouragement and support to each other throughout this journey. My name is Vladimir. I'm a full-time DevOps engineer, and most likely you know me through LinkedIn and through this request for announcement of a free mentorship. As I mentioned, I'm a full-time DevOps engineer, and when I'm not busy with my full-time job, I help people like you to get into DevOps, to become better in DevOps, to start in IT or level up. And that's why we're talking today. That's basically the common interest that we are sharing. And before we move forward, I would like to notify everyone that this meeting will be recorded in order for us to share it with the rest of the group who are not able to participate. And probably parts of this meeting I will also share on social networks, if you don't mind. So if you do mind, just let me know right now. Okay. Also, together with me, I've also mentioned these in the chat. There is an awesome guy. His name is Geoffrey. He will be assisting me and assisting you. He is also a mentor in my team. He will be helping with code reviews. He will be reviewing your pull request, assisting you. Geoffrey, mic is yours. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, like you mentioned, my name is Geoffrey. I'm a software and a DevOps engineer. I've been working with Vladimir for quite some time, assisting him, mentoring people who want to transition into DevOps. I help mostly in code reviews and suggestion and maybe trying to explain more concepts to mentees. That's pretty it about me. And I'm excited for this program. I can't wait to work with all you guys. That's
Okay, very good. And we will definitely have more opportunities to know each other throughout this program. But for now, I would ask one brave person, one volunteer, to probably talk on behalf of all of you guys and represent yourself. Talk about what motivated you to join, what you expect, and what you think would be the best, I would say, encouragement words. Do we have someone? Sorry, I might pronounce name not correctly.
It is a bit difficult. It's Ramdan.
Ramdan, okay. Hi, Ramdan. Thank you for volunteering. Yeah.
Thank you, and Jeffrey, for this opportunity. It's been quite some time that I know you, Vladimir. You've been posting a lot of things about Kubernetes. Questions are good, but we usually don't get the answer. So I requested you, it was 2 times to have the answers, but I don't know if you had time to. But it was great answering your questions. They were quite important. So I am a DevOps engineer also. Knowing your questions, it was really interesting for me to be mentored by you. So I'm sure that I'll be able to know more DevOps aspects, let's say. So I'm looking forward to this mentorship and to improve my DevOps knowledge and to become better.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. And to answer your questions, to answer your question or concern about answering questions, let me tell you this. The motivation behind me posting these questions is not to like simply copy paste something from documentation, but instead I'm trying to spark the conversation, to encourage people to discuss things. So the best idea when you want an answer or when you want some clarification is to go to the comments and either reply with justification about why you think one option is right and why you think one option is wrong, and perhaps someone else will jump in and like start discussing this with you. And that's the ideal outcome, not just like to press the button and forget about this, but to discuss it with other people, with community, to make connections and to speak with each other. And that's, I would say, one of the, implicit reasons why I personally don't post responses to these questions. Okay, very cool. Thank you, Ramdan, for this introduction. I believe we could have assumed that you've talked about on behalf of the entire group. I believe everyone's sharing these views and want to level up in DevOps somehow. So basically, now let me first, what we'll do today. I will explain some organizational moments. I will explain which technologies we'll be studying and how we will study. I will explain how we will interact with each other, you with me and you together between yourselves as a group, and basically what's in it for you in this mentorship. So first, I will simply like explain my vision of DevOps. Are you able to see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And I bet almost everyone in this chat, in this group, have seen this diagram at least once. Whoever works in DevOps already for sure aware about this, but I believe it's the first thing that you see when you type in DevOps in Google search, right? And what I will not spend time explaining what it is. The only thing that I'd rather say is that this definition is very, I would say, dictionary based and very far away from the real world. In real world, it is significantly more complicated, significantly more difficult. And probably something like that. There are different, like significant number of variations of this diagram. Or, for example, there is a separate one, cloud native landscape, which describes only things that are involved in Kubernetes ecosystem. And when I first saw these types of diagrams, I was kind of frustrated and intimidated. Why? Because I didn't have an opportunity to make some weighted decision about how should I prioritize this technology. Should I learn, I don't know, cloud events or Argo CD? Or how do I choose between, I don't know, Golang and Python? And do I need to learn programming at all? And these number of questions in my head, I'm still intimidated by all these questions. However, the good thing is that we can narrow the path and basically filter and group these technologies by several main into several main groups. And these groups are cloud, containers, monitoring, and pipelines. Why these four? Because they stack on top of each other and contribute towards solving a business goal. And a business goal Can I ask some of you guys from the group, what is the business goal? What do you think? Yes, Ramdan, please.
Deliver as fast as we can a product with a good quality, let's say.
Yes, and who is responsible for delivering the product?
Now, since we have DevOps engineers, it's their responsibility, I think.
But can DevOps engineer create a product himself?
They can contribute, but I don't think they can. Well, they can, but it's not the main mission, let's say, main task.
But main task of whom to create the product? Developers, right?
Developers, yeah.
That is exactly right. And we had some... no. I thought someone else commenting on the topic. No. So yes, developers. So, and as we discussed, developers, primary goal of developers is to create the product, is to deliver this product, right? And developers are lazy. By lazy, I mean they want to focus only on primary goal, only on what is matter for the business. They want to focus only on features of the product they are delivering. They don't care about which type of automation we're using. They don't care about which monitoring solution we have. And they don't want to hear about, I don't know, pipeline YAML. They just want to write code, push it, and have it deployed for them. That's it. And here is where DevOps engineer comes into play. But before I explain this further, I will give one more example of like traditional any type of business, right? Any type of organization, company. CEO will not bother himself purchasing, for example, office supplies. Instead, he will hire an office manager for that and delegate this task to him or her. But this doesn't mean that office paper is not important. It is important, especially when it's time to print out the quarterly or yearly financial report. But the goal of the business is not to print something on office paper. It's not to create some bureaucracy, but make money. And office paper is just a tool, is just an enabler for the primary goal, which is making money. And same situation can be transferred to the process of developing some software products. DevOps engineer is responsible for providing the required set of tools, the required set of enablers to developers, so they don't have to care too much about what is happening below the level of their responsibility. And if you want to be a senior engineer, if you want to be successful in this field, you should be capable of doing the following. Imagine you have imagine you just started your first day in a new role. Imagine that's a new company, the startup, and you are the first DevOps engineer who is hired. You should be able to come to the meeting with developers and say, hey guys, don't worry, just give me an AWS account or whatever other cloud account you're planning to use. Just give me a couple of weeks, I'll set everything up for you. You'll just need to write code, as I mentioned, push it to production, and this code will run in a reliable way. So if we have another real-world example, there is entire concept of promise theory. When you send a package or a piece of mail, you just pick a service class like priority, I don't know, international, whatever. And you don't care whether it will be delivered through road or through railroad or through sea or via airplane, as long as it is delivered in time and not lost. In the transition, you don't care if a car is break and they have to offload it to another post mail truck, if postman got sick and they had to replace him with other. You don't care because it's outside of your like responsibility. Same like developers. So, and perhaps you heard this term platform engineering, and in fact, this concept that I described to you, it looks like more like platform engineering. We are providing some internal experience to developers, and they just consuming it as an internal client. But why it is then called DevOps? And to answer this question, I would tell you that. So DevOps through DevOps, probably also significant part of you heard this phrase that DevOps is not a role. There is no DevOps engineer. It's a culture and philosophy, and it is still right. And through DevOps happening when the entire triangle, starting from infrastructure automation towards writing code, is done by a single team, and there is no segregation of responsibility, like this guy is software developer and this guy is a DevOps engineer. But if there is a separate department that provides parts of these, right? Or if there is a dedicated person, DevOps engineer. So in fact, it is more correct to call this person platform engineer, because he built some tools that are consumed by others, and that's the difference. So DevOps is something that is happening within, when the entire chain of tools is built by a single team, start to end. And platform happens when there is someone who builds set of enablers that are provided by the consumers. And so here is how it will look like if we translate it into technologies. The previous one was more like conceptually, and this slide answers the question, what tools should we use to build this pyramid, to build this set of enablers? So it is AWS and Terraform, Kubernetes and Docker, Jenkins and Argo CD for pipelines, Prometheus Grafana for monitoring, FluentD, FluentBit, and not only Elasticsearch, but other various sets of different tools for managing logs. And of course, everything running within the Linux operating system. And if you master this set of technologies, you'll be a fit for, I would say, 80% of jobs out there on the market. And if there is no precise match, like for example, instead of AWS they want, I don't know, GCP, right? It will be not a significant issue for majority of hiring managers. They will be okay to allow you to learn this as you go, because the rest of the landscape will be the same and concepts always very similar to each other. In fact, what is changing is just names of services, names of tools, and inputs that you need to provide. So in this program, we will mostly focus on AWS and Terraform, Docker and Kubernetes. And if we have time, I cannot promise this for now, on monitoring and observability as well, and pipelines. But primary 4 objectives are these. Now let me describe how it works. So I will be doing weekly demos for you. And during each weekly demo, there will be some tasks, some objective. So let me, there will be a Trello board that we will share across each other. It will be one big board for everyone where each topic is displayed. So first two for today are to get started with Git and to get started with Terraform. So basically, these might seem like easy and simple for you, but they, again, stack on top of each other. First, we have easy tasks to allow like everyone to get started. And from there, we'll have more and more difficult and more difficult. So let me show you how it looks. But closer to the end. These are all tasks for the first module, which is cloud and automation. So the final project will be to build an infrastructure for WordPress, which is highly available, fault tolerant, corresponds to all best practices of AWS. And also, I will help you guys to pass several exams. This will be Terraform Certification and AWS Solutions Architect Associate Certifications. Perhaps some of you already have these exams. In this case, this is completely okay, and in fact, this is great. So this means you are on the right track. And in this case, I will appreciate if when it's time to prepare for this exam, for the rest of this group, you will assist to others and I would say contribute back, help with explaining like your insights about these exams. Do we have anyone who has Terraform Associate or Solutions Architect Associate certification already? Mohammed? Lakesh?
Yeah, so I'm a Terraform certified associate actually. So
Okay.
I completed a year ago.
Okay, very good. Will you be open to give during one of our weekly meetings to share some insights, to give some small talk about preparation from like your side as well?
Yeah, sure, Vlad.
Okay,
I can do it.
this is very good.
Hi, my name is
Hey.
Mohammed. I am AWS Solution Architect Association certificate, and I'm able to contribute helping others with this certificate.
Okay, this is very good. This is very cool. So we have our 2 volunteers. I'll make some notes, and definitely we will, when it's time to start preparing, yeah, you guys, I will rely on you guys as well for assisting and for encouraging and helping each other, helping others as well. Very good, very cool. Yeah, so first several months we will focus solely on AWS and Terraform. Make sure that all of you guys are comfortable with basic building blocks of cloud landscape and cloud infrastructure, and that you can effectively automate this. After that, we will switch to Kubernetes. And Kubernetes requires knowledge of cloud because modern Kubernetes clusters are tightly integrated with cloud abstractions. For example, there are controllers that create load balancers in AWS. There are extensions that allow to scale auto-scaling groups up and down. Or there are integrations between, for example, IAM in AWS and Kubernetes service accounts. And to be comfortable with these, I would say, gray zones where Kubernetes and cloud accounts overlap, it is extremely critical to have good understanding about like regular cloud, vanilla cloud without Kubernetes. And also, this, I would say, very ambitious goal, but if we are able, I'll admit that's the first group program that I'm doing, and I don't have yet understanding about how much time it will take for us. But I'd be extremely happy if at least several from this group also be able to nail CKA exam. But that's kind of optional. CKA stands for Certified Kubernetes Administrator. And yeah, as I mentioned, if we still have time, we will also cover some pipelines, some monitoring tools, and log management as well. But AWS and Kubernetes are the primary objectives that we will be covering in details. So what we'll do? Yeah, first will be demo, and I think I'll have some 5 more minutes talking about general things and go straight to today's demo. First, there will be demo. After that, there will be recording that is shared with the group. There will be Trello card that is shared with the group, and you'll be able to join this board and check these whenever you whenever it is suitable for you. Hold on a second. Let me find it back. Yeah, here it is. And basically, what will happen next? Yeah, you watch this video, or you participated in a weekly meeting. You saw this demo. You start working on implementing your home task. I will show it, and after that, it's your responsibility to repeat it on your side, to write this automation yourself, and to implement it in your AWS account. Then you upload this code to GitHub and sending pull request, and I will explain what it is shorter today, to our shared chat. There, either me or Geoffrey picks up, reviewing this, you approve and merge. And obviously, if something goes not right, if there is some error that you don't know how to solve, again, you can use the group chat to ask for assistance. And what I would ask you also to do and to keep in mind is, for sure, there will be people who goes faster and people who go not that fast. And I will, again, strongly encourage you and ask, this is my humble request to you guys, let's support each other on this journey. So whoever completed the task faster than others, please jump into assisting the rest of the group if they have questions, if they seek assistance. Because there are, basically, initially the group was meant to be 10, but we have around like 21 or 25 members in this group, and it will be difficult for me and Geoffrey without your assistance to reply to everyone in a timely manner. Okay? So I believe I covered everything that I would like to cover in regards to organizational things, and I would say philosophy and the main ideas. Let's have briefly couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes, in case any of you have questions regarding these topics. Rash, yes, please.
Hi, Vladimir. Thank you so much for sharing these details. So I have one question, the person like me, I've just started learning the DevOps things like Terraform and all. So because I do not have any background with DevOps things. For that, if you can help me, I just know I'm just started by myself learning the Terraform. I know cloud, not AWS, but I know OCI cloud. Oracle Cloud. I started learning Terraforms and Docker with myself. So how it can be helpful here, because I do not have that level of understanding as of now.
Okay, so do you know what is IP address?
Yeah.
Do you know what is server and what is client?
Correct. I know.
Yeah. Do you have some Linux terminal skills like do ls or SSH? Okay.
Yeah. I'm aware.
This means you are completely eligible and you have the required background. You don't have to worry. So I will be also providing references to theoretical materials like Cloud Guru, YouTube videos, documentation. There will be also theoretical home tasks, which basically explain you what to read and what videos to watch. And I believe it will be not a problem for you.
Yeah. Okay. That's great, because I have a good knowledge on OCI cloud, all this compute, storage, networking. I have a good knowledge, because my core profile is a database, but I have a knowledge on that, but not in this DevOps thing. So
yeah. So since you already know some other certain cloud, it will be significantly easier for you to understand AWS. Concepts are very, very similar. Still the same compute, network, storage, auto-scaling, load balancing. I bet there is something in OCI that you already heard about on this front, and it's just different brands, I would say.
Yeah, right. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure. And we still have a couple minutes to one more question. After that, I'll go straight to the first demo. Okay, very cool. This means we can move forward. So, first task for today is to get started with Git. So I hope everyone created GitHub accounts. So for now, you don't have to follow along. You can just watch and either use recording, or there will be also another, especially for this task, recorded video tutorial attached to this card, and I will share it after the call. So the idea of the first task is that we need to create a GitHub repository where all Terraform code will be stored, and that will allow us to collaborate. So why it is important? Because we don't have luxury of being able to troubleshoot each issue directly, like on your side, right? Point and clicking in AWS can be acceptable in case of individual mentorship, but for group, that's not an option at all. This means we need some reliable means of, I would say, sharing infrastructure with each other. If you have an issue, you will just upload code to GitHub. Me or Jeffrey or someone else will pull it, apply it on their AWS account, and 99% of cases, it would be possible to reproduce this error, to reproduce this issue. For that purpose, that's why we will need GitHub account. And we will also be using pull requests to review and to approve the changes that you will be making in your repositories. So this is what you see is a detailed instruction about how to do this and how to create this. In case you need assistance with it, you can move forward and read this line by line. Otherwise, you can just create a GitHub repository, create a branch, and create your first pull request, in case you're already familiar with that. It might seem easy, but it is important that we establish, I would say, the way of collaborating. We establish a contract about how we do these code reviews and how we iterate. And without further ado, let me demonstrate you how it will look like. So, okay, GitHub, I will create a repository. let's say Terraform AWS, or let's call it Alpha because of the name of our group. It is okay for this to be public. I just press create repository. Steps are pretty straightforward. So basically, we can, for example, copy this URL and clone the repository into our machine. Let me remove it from here and run git clone. What it did is it created, sorry. Let me do this once again, just for the sake of making things in order on my laptop. You can put it into whatever folder you find suitable on your laptop, just as long as you clone the repository and open this folder, it will be completely fine. So now what I will do next is rename the branch main, and let's create some file. For example, README. Yeah, that's just an editor. You can use any editor. For this demo, I'm using VI. Also, we can use VS Code. Something like that. We will save it. We will use git status to find out what's the state of our repository. We will add this file. We will commit this file. And we will push it. Git push origin test. Okay, very cool. Now, when we refresh this over here, we will see our first file and first commit. Looks trivial, but that's the only part that is trivial here. From here, interesting part happening. And it is extremely important to understand and to be aware of this, because this is how we will communicate for every task. This is how we use GitHub. This is how we review this. Have any one of you used or at least heard about pull requests? And don't confuse it with git pull. That's completely different. Pull request and git pull are not the same. No, nobody? Yes, exactly. Pull like merges. Okay, yeah, let me then just move forward and I will show you. So we have made our initial commit. It is in main already and it is pushed. Now let's assume we want to make some change, right? And this initial commit was the only commit that will do to main directly and push it directly. All other changes should be done through branches and should be done through pull request or merge request. So the first command is to create a branch. This branch will be called, I don't know, first. The second command is to, I'd say not, it will be not a command, but instead I will open same folder, same file, but in Visual Studio Code, other editor. This is our file. And I will make some changes here. We are using pull requests to track changes. I will save this file. I will validate that there are changes. I will add this file, and I will commit this file. Modify readme. Then I will push this, but you should be aware that currently we are not on main branch. We are on the branch that is called first. It will ask us to set upstream. And when we go back to GitHub and refresh, there is nothing here yet. And the actual change was recorded to the second branch, to the first branch, to the branch named first. That's not yet main. So what's the purpose of main? Main should be always, I would say, the best. Main should be always checked, verified, and tested, and code that is in main should be always be good, the best version of our code that we do. All changes, all experiments should be done through the branch, should be reviewed through pull request. And it is allowing us to create a pull request. Here it is. You can press new pull request, or you can press compare and pull request. And there are like different options in the web UI. And can anyone explain what this part means that I'm showing you here? This one. Yeah, Mohammed.
So the green is like the new change. It can be green, it can be red.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's green, so it's like approved, or like there's no bugs or conflict. If it's red, there's conflict with other merge or something.
Okay, so then let me show you this. I will remove this and say, let's say, and change the text. Instead of AWS, it will be DevOps Mentor Group, for example, and only one exclamation mark. I will save it. I will commit it again. Git add, git commit, modify first line of readme, and I will push again. So when I refresh, this line becomes red.
Okay.
Does it mean there is a bug?
No, that means be removed.
Yes, exactly. So green means file was added, and red means file was removed. And what we'll do next? Assuming I am the first student who did this task. What I will do is I create a descriptive name of the pull request. For example, implement get started with Git first task. I will press create pull request. And now what I will do, listen closely here. That's how we will work for any task that will be. I will copy the pull request. I will go to our chat, and basically I will ask Geoffrey, since I cannot review my own PRs, to review this pull request and to approve it. Geoffrey, please review my pull request. Okay, Geoffrey, that's your time. Please have a look, review the pull request, and let me know if anything should be changed. Geoffrey, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm reviewing the PR.
Okay, very good. So let's wait a couple of minutes until Geoffrey reviews pull request. Okay, you see this message. Geoffrey approved these changes now. And here is the green check mark indicating that he has approved your pull request. And this check mark is very important part. This means basically your teammates are okay and have no objections from merging your code into main, that we can move forward and merge pull request. And also you can see Geoffrey approved it here. And this is very important. This is what I will ask you guys to do. Every time you complete a task created through GitHub, through the separate branch on GitHub, upload your code there, create a pull request, and send us to review it. This will allow us to make sure that you did the task right, that you understand all the concepts, and that everything is okay, that everything works. Okay, cool. And after the pull request is approved, we can merge it. Merge pull request, confirm merge. Very cool. So that's basically the first task. The first task is completed. Now we will start with the next one. But before we do so, let's have short discussion. Do you have any questions, guys? Okay, no questions, then let's move forward. Okay, assume we completed everything, and now we are planning to start a new task. This means you need to start a new branch. This first branch is related to the previous task. And to do so, first you need to switch back to the main branch. You need to pull latest changes from GitHub, because when you merged pull request, additional commit on main happened. So if we run git log here, the last commit is initial commit, this one. But if we get back to GitHub and check our main branch, we will see that it already has these 4 commits that came to main from the branch called first. So what should we do so that our laptop over here, this one, is synchronized with this GitHub? What should we do? Do you have any assumptions? Exactly, very good. Always never forget, it's better to run git pull, like even more than once. If you're not sure, git pull, run git pull. If you're not sure, run git pull. Yeah, we should have written this. Always switch to main and run git pull, so you have all the latest commits. Hold on a second. Just a second, let me troubleshoot this. Okay, yeah. I should have run git pull origin main. Now we have all these commits. Yeah, and this was the right command, git pull origin main. Okie dokie, yeah. And only after that, after we switched to main and after we checked out the latest changes, we can create new branch. And the second task will be to start with Terraform, right? Create some simple infrastructure. For that purpose, let's call the branch like get started with Terraform. or Terraform gets started. So in this case, main is our base branch, and base branch means all new branches should be sourced, should have origin of this main branch, and it is extremely important. It is extremely important to be aware, to always remember that whenever you create a new branch, you create it from main that has latest changes and that is synchronized with remote GitHub. Very important. And basically, let's do some quick Terraform demo then. We don't have too much time, unfortunately, but I'm sure we will cover these in later classes if needed. So basically, this will be main TF and basically some files. So first, we will declare the AWS provider. Provider is the connection between our laptop and Cloud API. It explains to Terraform that it should send API requests to AWS. That version of this provider is this, and so on and so forth. So after that, we will specify the region, US East 1, and let's create some simple example resource, AWS instance. AMI is the ID of the snapshot that we will use. T2 micro is the instance type, instance size, and tag that will apply this name to the instance. Then, 2 steps to get started is to run Terraform init, assuming you installed Terraform already. Yes, sometimes it takes time to download all the required providers. And Terraform applied. It will ask us to confirm the changes it will make. Basically, create this EC2 instance virtual machine. We need to press yes. And of course, our demigods are not friendly to us. AMI does not exist. Yeah, the region was US West 2. However, instead, we need to pick up the correct AMI for US East 1 that we have specified. So basically, we need to go to instances. That's AWS console. Launch instance. And copy the AMI ID. And I will share these with you as well later. Actually, let me paste it into chat. So region will be US East 1. AMI ID will be this thing. Cool. Yeah, and let me paste it over here. And let's run Terraform apply again. Yes. Okay, it wants us a VPC and okay. 1 second. Sorry, guys. It went not as planned, but no worries. We can quickly fix it. In your accounts, it will work perfectly because most likely you have default VPC already there. So it should be just fine. but I will add some additional resources, so it also creates a VPC and a subnet to run the instance. Actually, we could have just taken this example. Like, come on. Okay, it is saying still creating. Most likely it is already starting. Let's check AWS console again. EC2 instances, here it is. So let's assume that everything is fine. So it's not a big deal for now what exact code is there. We just need to launch some AWS resource and to commit it proper way, making sure that everything running smoothly. Yeah, and it created, we can run git status. We need to add our files. We just need to add main.tf, nothing else for now. And when you write commit messages and pull request names, make sure that you write it correctly, that you write it in a descriptive way, not like something random, right? It's not a good pattern and not a good habit. Add EC2 instance inside the VPC. And we will push it to the new branch on GitHub. And again, create a pull request. Get back to GitHub and compare our changes. It will highlight that we have added new file main.tf that contains these lines of code. Create a pull request. Let's mark it also as task 2. And as usual, I will ask Geoffrey to approve this pull request as well. Geoffrey, your turn.
All right. I'll pull the pull first. Approved.
Okay, very cool. Again, pay attention. This green mark that pull request is approved should be there. If pull request is not approved and if there is no green mark, most likely it's not yet reviewed, or there are some changes that should be made. And it is extremely important not to rush, otherwise main branch will be compromised with some like bad changes that we'll have to wipe out. But for now, yes, let's merge, and basically we're done. We've completed our second task for today. Congratulations to ourselves. Cool. So yeah, let me guys share the invitation to the Trello board, and for the rest of who not with us today is here, please use this link to. So what we'll do next, yeah? Feel free to join the board and start working on these two tasks. If you have questions, ask in the chat. If you need assistance, ask in the chat. And obviously, when you need this to be reviewed, also ask in the chat. I will share the recording later as soon as it is processed. Except for this, I don't have anything else to demonstrate to you today. I was really happy that we had a chance to sit together, and I really hope that it will be helpful for all of us. And I believe I can stay for maybe 5 or 10 more minutes to have some general discussions, or if you have any other questions, guys, or anything that you would like to add, just, yeah, floor is yours. Feel free to jump in. Yeah, Rondan.
So about the MII, it is related to the account you're using, right? It's not like a general variable or.
Once again, what you mean?
The
AMI?
yeah.
No, it will be the same for everyone.
So we'll be using the same AMI.
Yes, it's a public AMI that was created by Amazon.
Okay. And what does it represent? Or
it represents the snapshot of a virtual machine. So imagine you have you used VirtualBox or VMware or something like that? Yes. So there you have a concept of VM snapshots, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can install operating system, and in order to avoid doing these steps again and again, you can create a snapshot and create other VMs from this snapshot, right?
Yes.
Same situation here. In AWS, there is a concept of Amazon Machine Image, AMI. And essentially, it's a VM snapshot that you use to distribute images of virtual machines throughout your infrastructure. And this public AMI was created and packed and prepared by Amazon themselves for us to use it.
It's like the ISO image.
Exactly, that is right.
Okay, thank you.
There is a question from Fadia. How would you define a merge config? Fadia, could you please elaborate a little bit What do you mean by the word define in this case? Yeah, sure.
So, so yeah, my question is like, would you give us an example or like a scenario where like a merge conflict happened or anything like that? So as we can.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sure. So I'm more than sure that there will be some merge conflicts when we work through this program. I've done this a lot in one-to-one fashion, and very often merge conflicts happen. And yeah, we will have a chance to resolve it like live. And the first time we notice this, I will bring up it to the weekly meeting and show you how we can fix that. And probably, yeah, we will also have some separate session for solving where I myself purposely cause this merge conflict and show you how to resolve this. But not today, not tomorrow, but definitely we will cover this. That's very good point, and we will definitely talk about this. Yeah, Rondan.
So for Terraform, we don't need like special credentials to log in to our accounts, or
you need AWS access key and AWS secret key. Let me show you. Configure AWS CLI. So there is a concept of key pair, access key and secret key. And it's like a password. It's like a token.
Okay.
And what you'll need to do is create this token and provide it to AWS CLI. And here is, yeah. Let me share this with you as well in our group chat. Setting your password. Okay, 1 second. I will mark these for as soon as we finish the call. I will write up something, give you more sophisticated instruction, and share it to the chat. Let me make a note. Just not to keep the rest of the group on this call. This. Okay, good with that. Any other questions? And yeah, don't forget to run Terraform destroy when you're not practicing, when you're not working. Otherwise, infrastructure will keep running and it will cost significantly more, and you will have to pay for what you not use. So it is very important. Don't forget to run Terraform destroy. Okay. Anything else? Let's one more last question. If someone has last opportunity to ask. If not, I will wish you the good day and we will finish. One? Okay, Rondan, sure.
When do you use rebase instead of merge?
Good question. I prefer to use rebase every time. I don't use merge at all. So probably that's a good idea to have separate session for merge conflicts and rebase. I will plan this out since the request from both you and Fadia already came in. Plan session about merge conflicts and rebase. Yeah, and we will definitely touch base on that, and I will explain and demonstrate how to use rebase, how to use merge, how to use interactive rebase, and all these topics. But for now, let's just get comfortable with basic workflow that we have. If we do this workflow properly, there won't be any merge conflicts, and we won't have to do rebase. So let's make comfortable with basic operations: creating commit, creating pull request, merging it. After that, we'll move to the complicated things, one step at a time.
Thank you.
Okay, very cool. Thank you very much, guys, for participating. I'm really happy to meet you all. We slightly went outside of our scheduled time. Sorry for that. Hope that's not a problem for you. Yeah, by the next week, I hope you'll be able to complete these 2 tasks. And I'm looking forward to speaking with you next week. All right. Thank you. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, everyone.